Let's go. Welcome to the pod every Wednesday, back to represent two dudes with attitudes. Yeah, here comes the main event. Every week it's the dudes from the east and the west, breaking down everything you've seen, and the best of the best came together on TikTok. Hit it off from the jump, now they never gon' stop. Shooting Star, PRS, you can hit the follow. My wrestling opinion is someone you should all know, and they call him MWO. Yeah, it's rich on the flow, and I thought you should know. Two dudes in the mood that be dropping the jewels. This is not for the fools, this is just how we do. Talking WWE, no one is touching the team. Cool, calm, collected, the methods will be. You can hit the 5 stars when it's time to rate on whatever platform. Two dudes, get it straight, yeah.
Oop, I killed the song.
That's all good.
Yeah.
What's
Oops.
up? Welcome
right.
back to another Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast, WWE edition. As always, I'm the dude of Wrestle Talk, Mr. MWO, and with me, as always, is the honorary dude, the man whose brother got a main event title shot this past Monday, Shooting Star Press. What's going on?
Today, man, it's episode 89 of the podcast, so we're 11 away from 100. But more importantly, today is the 26-year anniversary of the Montreal Screwjob. November 9th, 1997. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, then let's do it. Then if that's true,
it is.
Man, we could have done our segment. Okay, so let's go with this. Ready? All right. Brett screwed Brett or Vince screwed Brett? Let's go.
Brett screwed Brett. 100% Brett screwed Brett. He was going to WCW. Like, what did he expect?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Thank you.
He's a veteran of the business, and he knows, the best thing to do when you leave a company. He's always said this about, is to leave on your back and elevate somebody and put somebody over. He was leaving. So yes, put Shawn Michaels over.
Especially when that organization had already taken people and already taken a belt and threw it in the trash. Why the heck would you allow that guy to keep the title? So, all right. Secondly, new rumor has it is that it was all a work. So work or not, has this been fake the entire time? A big plot between Vince and Brett to get them both over, or more money? Although we all see that Brett's career went down the tube after that. But
yeah, I'm like 99.99% sure that it's all real, but there's like that one sliver of me that thinks it's a work. But at the same time, I feel like if it was a work, they would have told us by now, because it was over 25 years ago. And why are they still hanging on to it? Or was it a work that turned into something real and real life animosity between? I don't know, but I'm fairly convinced. I'm like 99.9999% sure that it was real. That all of it was 100% real.
Here's the thing, right? Earl Hebner claims it was a work. Not that he knows, but he thinks it was a work. Secondly, the fact that Shawn and Triple H were like so not in on it, but then all of a sudden years later, Shawn was in on it, and just their acting and their reacting, it just doesn't seem like they could have acted that well. They did truly look surprised. And also, when Brett went in there and punched Vince McMahon in the face, Shane McMahon was in there. No one got into a scuffle. It was just a punch and a leave. That seems very odd to me.
The Undertaker was back there.
Yeah, nobody he just punched him and walked out. No big deal. And the fact that neither of them sued each other, it's all, I don't know. The more and more I look at it, the more why tell anybody? I mean, Brett's still getting paid off of that. Vince, they still,
that's true.
26th anniversary, we're still talking about it. If they say that it was a work, we ain't talking about it anymore. So, and I've always thought it was so weird that it was so drawn. Like, people are so into this, and people are just, Shawn's such a disgusting human, and how dare they do that to Brett? This is professional wrestling, y'all. Like, people act like his life was like changed by this moment. It's so stupid how much people make such a big deal out of that moment of them taking a title which is given to them by that man who took it away from him. And they make that big of a deal. The shit ain't real. It's not like it was boxing and the guy was on a 7 count and the ref just was like 79-10, it's over. And they're like, wait, what? It's not like it was like a real fight. Like, this is Vince he decides if you get the belt, he decides if you don't get the belt. In that moment, he decided you don't get it, and he took it from you. It wasn't that big of a deal, people. Move the F on. But we all know Bret Hart can't move on from anything because he once got botch kicked by Goldberg and still blames him to this day because, you know, people like Draws and stuff who got paralyzed, they can move on from it and understand that stuff happens. Big E can move on from things, but Bret Hart getting kicked in the face and has lived a perfectly fine life. He just couldn't wrestle anymore. Is, you know, Sting once, but Bret, you know, is going to take that to his grave because of a botched kick. So anyway, you know.
So happy screw job, Jay,
we could do a whole we could do a whole episode, but we can't because it's been 5 minutes and we got things to do because we are talking Crown Jewel, baby, and WWE is at it again. We have back-to-back duds, and you know what's funny? I have watched this last pay-per-view and this one, and I thought they were duds, and everyone on the internet is giving it like 8.5. I feel like I'm just on a different planet. Maybe it's because AEW and what we have perceived as just rating things purely off of wrestling and have forgotten the fact that wrestling is about story. This is a soap opera. This is a show. This is entertainment. And when we go through these 7 matches, man, they were all predictable but one. They were all basic matches. They were all like B. None of them were great. None of these matches are like 5-star A's. These are all like basically all B matches. They all did what they needed to do. They're good matches, sure. But what the heck did we do moving forward in our story with any of this stuff? So we'll get into it. They open up with the heavyweight championship, the non-universal, with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. And as we know, Seth Rollins in the end came out victorious. The match was fine, but the ending was stupid. I thought it was very weird that, you know, Seth kicks out of a whole bunch of finishers and then he stomps him once and pedigrees him, and Drew can't get up. He just lost basically clean. And Seth Rollins didn't even look like he took any damage. Out walks Damian Priest to cash in on a perfectly healthy Seth Rollins.
That was the...
And Sami Zayn steals his briefcase, runs away, and then we go into like a British chasing him out of the ring and the arena. I don't know. This match was like I said, all these matches are good. Anything I rate isn't on the match. It's on the outcome and the story. To me, this was a huge dud and a huge miss.
Yeah, the match was fine, but the cash-in scenario to me was what killed it for me. It was, first of all, Damian Priest came out by himself, so no Finn Balor at his side, no Rhea Ripley, no Dirty Dom, no JD McDonough. He just came out by himself, and Seth Rollins was sitting up in the ring, completely healthy, completely fine, celebrating his win. It didn't make any sense. It was, I don't understand why WWE thought, hey, that's a great time to start your cash in, when the last man standing match at Fastlane with Shinsuke Nakamura, where Seth Rollins took a lot of damage and they fought into the backstage, and there was table spots and things through, like all kinds of stuff towards his back and chair shots and all that. That wasn't a good time for him to cash. Like that made no sense. And then Sami Zayn just being able to come in and just take the briefcase to prevent that. Like, I love Sami Zayn. I'm a Sami Zayn supporter. I have a shirt on right now, but that was just weird to me too. That felt a very, I don't know. And then like the next night on Raw, which we'll talk about, but he was forced to give it back. Like he couldn't just hang on to it. I don't understand, but all of it was bad. The match was great. Drew McIntyre, I don't know what's going on with him. I'm hoping that this leads to a heel turn in the future, and that he just snaps from this. But I don't know what's happening. But the match was fine. It was just the ending that made it a dud for me.
Yeah, true that. And once again, Drew joining Judgment Day, I don't know, but we'll get into Survivor Series and stuff soon. All right, Ripley defends the title in a 5-way. What'd you think, brother? Rhea Ripley defends.
Once again,
I'll let you start.
The match was good until the end. Everything was fine, and then like Rhea Ripley hits that, what was it, that power bomb off of the top rope. It was Shayna Baszler, I think she was doing it too. And Raquel Rodriguez then decides that is a good time to pin somebody and try to attempt a pin. Instead of going to knock Rhea Ripley off of the top rope, she goes to try to make a pin on, I think it was Nia Jax or Zoe. And I'm like, and then Rhea Ripley ends up, power bombing everybody on top of Raquel Rodriguez, and then she ends up winning the match. It was, that move was cool. Rhea's entrance was off the chains. they're making huge progression towards, women's rights in Saudi Arabia. And I think WWE is a huge part of that, because the fact that, when they started this whole deal, women weren't even allowed to go to these events. And now they're wrestling and they have more than one wrestling match on these shows. So that's huge accomplishment. And WWE is a huge credit for that. But the crowd just wasn't into it. They weren't into any of the women's matches. They weren't into the Io Sky Bianca. They weren't into this one. And I think that killed the momentum. That killed the vibe. But the match was fine. Just the ending was just a little weird. It was just, Rhea Ripley's on the top rope and Raquel Rodriguez is going for a pin. Like, you saw her climb to the top rope and you decide that's a good time for me to try to sneak a pin. And then, of course, she felt the wrath of that. So just kind of a bad ending.
Yeah, once again, all these matches were B's to me, so I don't need to discuss how the match was. But 5-ways are never that great. I don't like war games, and we'll get into that for that reason. Just because there's too many people I can't focus. I'm trying to watch.
And the cage,
the wrestlers don't know
Yeah.
the cage for that. But like this is like they don't know. They just gotta like take turns. It just looks too scripted. It's like watching a Young Bucks match when they're just doing flippity doodads for no reason, just for show. I like to see wrestling and storytelling. They did focus a lot on Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley. That was basically kind of like the main focus of this 5-way, which is fine because I'm assuming we're getting to them one day. But yeah, Rhea winning was the right choice, so at least we had that. John Cena versus Solo Sikoa. This was the only shocker of the night. I think probably 99% of the people in the world who did predictions had John Cena winning, other than Solo's mom.
Yeah.
Us included. This was a shocker, man. I mean, once again, decent match. And I give Cena a lot of crap because he likes to bury every single person, and he buried Solo on the
SmackDown.
promo right before. I should have saw that coming because that's what he did with Austin Theory, where he just buries him and then decides that if he gives him a win, that makes up for him pulling out all his flaws. But the match itself was fine. This is a huge win for Solo. The ending was a little weird. I didn't like the whole, him like thumbing him to death. I did like I saw a lot of memes where it was like the Simpsons where stop, he's already dead, as he's just like pummeling him, and John Cena was just like a limp body. Like, I don't know how that move makes you like go limp. I sometimes wrestling is weird. Like, I just don't understand how that is like, like my chest, like I can't, I don't like I get it because like in his throat or whatever, like he was just like pounding on his chest. I don't know why that was pummeling him, but anyway, neither here nor there. Huge win for Solo Sikoa. He needed this win. That's what I said. I hated this match because I thought Cena was going to win, and I thought that was going to do absolutely nothing for all of Solo's momentum. Now, what do they do with it? Right? You got to make this guy a star and continue to feel like that with the Bloodline storyline that he's in. The only way I can see it is if he's the one who turns on Roman and costs him his world heavyweight title. That's the only way I can see this going booming for Solo in the future, which they need to do. So,
yeah. The match was fine. I was shocked at the outcome, and then he continued doing it. And now there's rumors that, apparently this morning, the SAG-AFTRA, they agreed to a deal. And John Cena said after Fastlane that as soon as they agree to a deal and we resume filming, he was working on a movie. He stopped in the middle of filming to come back to the WWE. That he's going back to Hollywood. So what's next for John Cena? Was that the end of? Because he kind of teased a retirement there at the end.
Like he knew, right?
Yeah. So is he done? Will he be back before WrestleMania? Will he do anything? Will he appear at WrestleMania and not have a match? We'll have to see. But we give him a lot of crap, but I give him credit for doing the right thing and not just putting Solo Sikoa over, but letting Solo Sikoa dominate. That was a huge performance from Solo, and the fact that he kept going, he hit him with 15 Samoan spikes or something. Like it was a good showing for Solo.
I agree. All right, match of the night, and then this might have been an A actually, but match of the night, moment of the night. Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. We have a new U.S. champion. What'd you think? You go first.
Yeah, this was the highlight of the night for me. This was, we may have gotten a heel turn with Santos Escobar, mistakenly leaving the brass knuckles in the ring. The only thing I didn't like was like Logan Paul having these random people help him in these matches, which like it's fine. Because that's what he does. He's a heel, but I don't know who they are. And that's he had that random dude.
I guess that was his manager. I heard afterwards.
Yeah.
Like his actual agent, like his
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's the one that handed him the brass knuckles. But at WrestleMania, he had that other guy helping him, like that one dude who was dressed in the
Oh,
bottle
well,
of
but he's a
Prime.
boxer. Yeah,
Yeah,
KSI. He actually helps him.
KSI.
They
Yeah,
thought he was somebody. Yeah.
yeah, but like I don't feel like the casual wrestling fan would, if you don't know who
No.
Logan Paul is out of the ring, you don't know who these guys are. So it was just like, who's this
Mhm.
rando? So that's the one thing I didn't like. But other than that, I thought the match was great. Logan Paul is a stud, and this was the right call, putting the U.S. title on him. And I don't know if you've seen his social media, but he is doing a lot. He's showcasing that U.S. title everywhere he goes. He's
Mhm.
taking a shower with it. He's sleeping in the bed with it.
Oh,
He
he's
is,
bucking with it on here.
yeah, he's doing lots of craziness with this U.S. title. So he is a WWE superstar through and through, and he's proving it. And yeah, we'll see what happens with what we'll see what happens with him next with the U.S. Championship, because I don't know who the next opponent is for him. I'm sure Ray's going to get a rematch.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we might. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, this was the match tonight. Logan Paul has yet to have a dud. A great match. I know the whole world's a buzz about him saving Rey Mysterio's life. I still don't get how everyone's getting on that. I mean, Rey's hands were down. He wasn't going to land on his neck. Did he go for it? Yes, and that's a true showing of how advanced this guy is, because I remember when R-Truth did a flip over where why am I blanking on his name? The Australian, the guy who has main guy with A-Town
Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller, thank you. How the heck did I forget Grayson Waller's name? That when he did the flip and Grayson Waller just like watched like R-Truth just like injure himself, didn't even try to save him, and that was a vet. At that moment, he's been wrestling for a while, not a vet, but you know what I mean. Someone who's been doing it longer than Logan Paul. Logan Paul knew what the move was going to be. He was out of place, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't Ray's fault. And he slid in knowing that, grabbed him. He didn't save his. I've seen like way too many TikToks of like, oh, he would have been in broken neck. He landed on his hands, y'all. He would have just sprung himself back. It's not like he had any potential. He would have been perfectly fine. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But it was a great spot. Shows how good this man is. Him winning this belt is better for WWE than it is for Logan Paul. And I don't think fans understand that, and how much, like you said, his social media, what he's doing. Mm-hmm. Believe you me, my son's going to want to watch wrestling moving forward. People, girls, little kids, anyone who drinks Prime is going to be watching WWE moving forward. This is a good move. I think he'll have it till Mania, till he loses to someone who I think you might know who I'm thinking of. But either way, good stuff. Good for the WWE. But once again, it had kind of like a weird ending. All these matches, like you said, the agent coming out, he was like smiling the whole time. He was like laughing.
Yeah, it was like
while like Santos was gonna get him. He was like, because he was like trying to act, but he doesn't know how to act, so he was caught up in the moment. So he's like laughing because it's like uncomfortable for him. But the fact that Santos Escobar like made sure to look that it was the middle of the ring and set it right on a perfect spot, and then go really, really bad stuff. And then when Logan Paul like started thanking Rey Mysterio afterwards, and Rey was like caught off guard by it and was like, you know what you did, because Rey's like, bro, you just cheated to beat me. You can't now like tell me how much you look up to me. That was a weird spot too. But anyway, nonetheless, great match. We'll go into another weird ending.
Do you think Santos did that on purpose? Do you think he left the brass knucks in there purposely, or do you think he mistakenly left them?
I mean, if not, then they should have had him place them there differently. Because like I said, he literally looked to make sure they were like in the right spot of the ring for him to like set them. It's not like he went to go grab them and was like, hey, and like they fumbled out of his hand and just happened to land in the ring. And he went and he literally like looked and was like, boonk. It was just stupid.
It was a bad.
If it's not obvious, then do better, Santos Escobar. But also if you're gonna have him turn, that was a dumb moment. Unless he's gonna turn him on him in the rematch, but you got to turn to cost him something, not for nothing. And to keep on with the awful end, actually all these matches really ended awful. That's what I'm talking about. Story: Bianca Belair and Io Sky. Praise Jeebus. Bianca Belair didn't win, but Io Sky got the win, all because of a Bayley coming out to interfere. Bayley kind of gets the work put on her. So here comes Kairi Sane from NXT. Yeah. Kairi Sane. Sorry, excuse me, Kairi Sane. And she comes out to literally zero reaction. Now I know the women got these, Saudis, they don't like women, but she came out to like crickets, literally crickets. You could hear her moves and her kick. It was so damn quiet. She helped Io Sky win the match. Then they proceeded to beat Bianca Belair down while Bayley just like watched in awe. So I'm assuming this is the end of Damage Control. I don't know what the heck happened. It was, like I said, a good match, right winner. I don't know where this is going with story-wise, but weird ending.
Yeah, like, is she going to be in Damage Control now, or is Io Sky going to form, what was it, the pirate gang or whatever they're doing?
Yeah.
Are they reforming that, and they're going to be a tag team going forward? Like, I don't know. And I'm sure we'll have some answers come SmackDown this Friday, hopefully. But yeah, that was a weird ending, and I hated it for the women because they got no reaction. None of the 7 women that performed, the 5 women in the Rhea Ripley match, and then the 2 in this one, Io and Bianca. They got no reaction. Like, you could hear them like talking in the ring, and you could hear them, talking their smack and stuff because the crowd just was not into it. You could see the members of the crowd getting up in the middle of the match and like leaving to go, I guess, to the merch stand or the concession stand or the bathroom or wherever they're going. It was just, I hated it for that. But the ending was weird. I didn't think this was the right time to bring Kairi Sane back to the WWE. Not at Crown Jewel. Do it on SmackDown. Do it on. Should have done it at SummerSlam. Maybe do it at Survivor Series or something. But this was not the right time to do it. This was very flat. Very flat.
Yeah, it stinks for her. We'll see how SmackDown goes. All right. Next up, we had the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest. What'd you think?
Yawn. I mean, same. Cody Rhodes. The trials and tribulations of Cody Rhodes continues with another victory. So there are no trials and tribulations for one Codamus Maximus Rhodes because he wins all the time. And we knew the outcome of this match before this match even happened, that Cody was going to win. There was no way he was losing to Damian Priest. And the match itself, I like Damian Priest. Damian Priest brought it. He did a great job, but the match itself was boring and the outcome was too predictable.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought it was just a stupid match. This does nothing for either wrestler other than hurt Priest. Priest lost. Like, if he would have cashed in after, that's why you had this match go first. But you just had him get like fooled and duped into losing his briefcase. Then he goes and gets basically squashed. I mean, he didn't get much offense in. I mean, this was just like and what are we doing with Cody Rhodes? What? And obviously we'll talk in Monday Night Raw that we're not moving on from this. So
no,
I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know what to say. I mean, if this is how you're going to build him back up to Roman, I don't think you're doing it right. I know I just heard that his like merchandise sales is still number 1, even more than LA Knight and everyone in all of WWE. So obviously the fans are still behind him. Maybe it's just me and you who are not feeling it, but I think his stock's going to go down sooner or later. People get sick of the John Cena treatment. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And I love Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. So
look at Seth Rollins, man. Seth Rollins. People were clamoring for him to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Now that he has it, everyone's waiting for him to lose it. Everyone thinks that Shinsuke's going to win it, or Damian Priest is going to cash in, and Drew McIntyre is going to take it. It's because I think people like the chase more than anything.
Well, and that's why in this last match, a certain person shouldn't have won, and that is LA Knight, versus Roman freaking Reigns. And typical outcome, we knew what was going to happen. Roman pins him. Here's my thing. I told you this beforehand. LA Knight he's going to lose. He needs to show out, or all his momentum's just going to start fading away. And I'm sorry to break it to all you LA Knight fans. I know I keep crapping on him. This was not a star-making moment. This match was meh. Probably one of the least good matches on the card. I don't think he showed out. I don't think this did anything for him. I don't think there was enough interference and backlash to cost him the match. I don't really think this was it. I think the only way he is going to get saved if he ends up wrestling Logan Paul and taking the U.S. title off of him. Other than that, I think this is a huge miss for him, and we'll see starting SmackDown what they're going to do on his way back up, because obviously Roman's not going to be on TV and he's not wrestling a pay-per-view again until like Rumble or something. Apparently, they're claiming. So this was not it for me. And like I said, they needed this to be it, and it wasn't. What say you?
Yeah, I'm no longer on the bandwagon that LA Knight should dethrone Roman after that match. I mean, it was just different opponents, same result. Jimmy Uso came out. I will take. There was I don't know if it was a botch or what, but there was one spot in that match where LA Knight, the referee counted to 3. LA Knight pinned him and had him counted to 3, but Jimmy Uso put Roman's foot on the rope, and he did it. But I don't know if it was like a mistake, and because he counted to 3 and then the foot was put on the rope, so it kind of happened all at the same time. So I guess they could go off of that technically he pinned Roman Reigns, but he really didn't. That's the one like saving grace I can see. But other than that, yeah, this match, it didn't do it for me. I like LA Knight. I still have high hopes for him. The crowd was into it. Every time LA Knight breathed, they were chanting, yeah. So he's loved over. It. Yeah, he's super over. So I hope this isn't the end of his push, but I think this proved to everybody that he's not quite ready for that main event spot.
No, when you look at all of Roman's last matches, this was his worst one. So what does that say? Yeah. And supposedly, rumor has it, but I think it's Meltzer reporting, so it's probably false 100%. LA Knight has a ton of heat backstage for being cocky and this and that, and now the WWE is not going to push him anymore. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm telling you. But anyway, Crown Jewel, like we said, good show. Just we got to do better on the Triple H has been lacking in the predictability and the good storyline continuations on these pay-per-views or these premium live events. Let's go into Monday Night Raw, where he has been shining, and Raw has been amazing as of late. And I want to start off with a little thing that I didn't think was that bad, and I thought it was a good idea. And I know I've seen a lot of people on the internet saying it should have been a premium live event tag team match and this and that, but we're really booming in the tag team division right now. We had DIY and we had the Creeds again, and there's storylines going and all these tag teams coming in, but we had the Judgment Day defend their titles versus the New Day, because the New Day did a Judgment New Day gimmick for Halloween, and the Judgment Day was not for that. And after an embarrassing Crown Jewel, because minus Rhea, you had Damian look like an idiot by having his briefcase stolen. You had Damian get pinned easily by Cody Rhodes. You had freaking Dirty Dom run out for 5 seconds, not even come out with Rhea, come out for 5 seconds, get hit in the head with a chair like nothing, and that was the end of that. And then you had JD McDonough get completely squashed by Sami Zayn, which we didn't talk about in the pre-show match. So Judgment Day had a bad night. So what do you got to do when you have a bad night? You got to have a good win. And to me, this was a great way to get them back on track. I knew you probably knew they were going to win, but the New Day easily, because the Usos aren't around anymore, the best living tag team currently in WWE, greatest of all time, who are still wrestling as a tag team.
Longest reigning tag team, too.
100%. So why not a good win versus the, greatest tag team of all time currently in the WWE? I thought it was nice. I thought it was a win they needed. They were dominant. I would have liked it if the match would have went a little bit longer than 9 minutes. You could have given it more. I didn't think this had to be on a PLE. They can build that later if they ever want to wrestle again. But this was it for me, and I thought it was a good way to kind of get that dominance of Judgment Day back on track. And it led to one of the best gimmicks, or one of the best backstage promos, when I did a TikTok about, where Damian Priest is backstage with the Judgment Day, and JD McDonough's telling him about how he lost, and Damian Priest goes, "Yeah, I know. I was there, idiot." And then he basically looks at him, and he has a Damian Priest shirt on, and he goes, "Hey, did you buy that shirt, by the way?" And in the background, Dirty Dom also has a Damian Priest shirt, and he literally closes it and so he doesn't get seen. But I loved it. I think it's just building some great stories. Judgment Days, if they could win, are on all cylinders the best faction in all of wrestling. They just need to win. What say you? You think it was pointless? A good match? What? I mean, you need wins.
Yeah, no, you got to take the wins when you can get them. The only thing I didn't like was I didn't like that backstage segment because it was fun. The line was funny with Damian Priest saying to JD, but again, we're teasing more dissension in the Judgment Day. We're back to this, hey, we're making matches now for each other. Where were you guys? Where were you? And where it was just, we're back to this. I don't know. This makes me wonder, if this is just going to keep going on until the end of time, because it just seems like every time there's a problem in the Judgment Day, they're looking to play the blame game, and they're looking within each other. So I don't know. Either the Judgment Day is at its best when they're all clicking, and yeah, they all look like
Yeah.
idiots at Crown Jewel, but I just don't like this constant teasing of dissension in the group. Let them be strong, let them be dominant, and let them continue to run Monday Night Raw and NXT.
The reason why they do that, though, is because they're a villain group who constantly lose.
True.
When you're a bunch of heels that lose all the time, what else are you going to do? That's their problem. They need to be just booked strong, and we can get off of this stupid
just book them strong.
blame game. Yeah, I agree.
So I want to talk about the opening segment with for the first time in forever, to quote Elsa from
Frozen.
From Frozen. Or
no,
Anna
it wasn't Elsa. It was Anna. There you go.
From Frozen.
Get it right.
For the first time in forever, the Judgment Day did not open Monday Night Raw. Instead, we had Seth Rollins open the show, and he cut a promo talking about how Drew McIntyre brought out the best in him, and he thanked Drew McIntyre, and he put Drew McIntyre over. I thought it was a good promo, and then he also wanted to thank Sami Zayn for saving him, and he owes Sami Zayn one because Sami Zayn took the briefcase away from Damian Priest. And then he called Sami Zayn out. Sami Zayn came out, and they had a back and forth, and it led to Seth Rollins saying, "Hey, anytime you want a shot at my World Heavyweight Championship, it's yours. Just say when." And it took a long time to get to it, but finally Sami Zayn was like, "Hey, let's do it tonight. There's no better place to do it than right here on Monday Night Raw." And it led to a world title match later that night. And the one thing I didn't like about the promo was that Seth Rollins basically the whole Adam Pearce made you give the briefcase back to Damian, didn't he? And Sami Zayn was like, "Well, yeah, how'd you know?" "Because I was in his office as soon as you left." Like, I don't know. That whole thing was just like, that's how Damian Priest gets the briefcase back. He doesn't come beat you down for it and take it from you. He doesn't chase. You had Crown Jewel with a chase, and you can't still be chasing each other on Monday Night Raw, especially for continuing this whole thing going forward. But you end it with Adam Pearce. "Hey, you must give that back." Okay, I'll give it back.
Yeah.
I don't know, that was kind of a letdown for me, but it led to our main event of the night, which was Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins. And I tell you, man, this match was like 23 minutes long or something. It got a lot of time. It got a "This is awesome" chant from the crowd, even though I feel like everybody chants "This is awesome" at everything these days. But it was a phenomenal match, and it was a damn good showing. It was a impressed. Yet again, Sami Zayn took a loss in a world title match, but again, he's just, both of these guys are unbelievable. My only question is, we crapped on AEW a few weeks ago for doing Kenny Omega versus MJF with no build on Collision, and yet you have Monday Night Raw, yet with little build, probably a 3-hour build of doing a pay-per-view caliber main event, Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, what do you think about that? Do you wish there was more of a build for this? Do you think that those criticisms are justified?
Oh, for sure. Are we you gonna talk about War Games too, or are we just you want me to start talking now, or
yeah,
you want me to wait?
I'll go back.
Yeah. So okay. So, but yes, 100%. This match, 100%, and I have a reason why. But just imagine if they would have done this at a pay-per-view, Survivor Series, maybe, or the one after, Rumble, whatever, and you have Sami finally get his moment, and maybe he pins Seth Rollins, only to have Damian Priest then come out and take that and cash in. Once again, storytelling, it would have worked, having Sami trying to earn his way back, or picking a moment that he earned by doing it, and then only to have it backfire on him, or
especially
or building it all the way up to making Sami feel like, you can do it. This is your moment. I'm finally gonna everything that I've worked so hard for, only to have him lose to Seth Rollins at Royal Rumble or whatever. I mean, good storytelling. To have it wasted like that, I thought was super stupid. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I thought so too. And especially with his promo a few weeks ago with Drew McIntyre, basically saying, "I will be World Heavyweight Championship," and McIntyre saying, "You're not championship material." That kind of, I was like, "Oh, okay. Let's maybe he is." But he had a great match with Roman earlier in the year, and now he had a great match on a random Monday Night Raw with Seth Rollins, and maybe that's the end of Sami Zayn in the title picture. Who knows? But the show ends with chaos breaking loose in the ring. You have yet again, the Judgment Day come out and they attack both Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. Dominic comes out, Finn Balor comes out, Damian Priest comes out, and then out comes Jey Uso. And Jey Uso pretty much takes out everybody until he gets kicked in the head or chokeslammed by Damian Priest. Yeah, and then Priest takes him. He's taken out, and then out comes Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is out there, and he's cleaning house, and then the brawl continues. It was actually a fun way to end Monday Night Raw. It was a chaotic way to end it, and there's just constant brawls. And finally, Adam Pearce comes out, and he puts his foot down, and he says that this is it. I'm sick of the games. I'm tired of the games. You four want to play games. You four want to play games. Talking to the Judgment Day and Sami, Cody, Seth, and Jay. We'll let the games begin. And then he said, Survivor Series, War Games. So we have the 4-on-4 match all set for Survivor Series War Games, the main event. Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and Jey Uso versus Dirty Dom, Damian Priest, JD McDonough, and Finn Balor. So should be an interesting way to end Survivor Series. Should be an interesting night. But I loved how they ended Raw. And then the thing that I liked about it too was everybody was all like, oh my gosh. But then they kept brawling. They kept on fighting after that. They didn't just stop and catch their breath and the show goes off the air and they all go on their merry way. They kept on fighting. I loved it. I thought it was a great way to end the show.
Well, really quick, few things. We already talked about the Sami thing, so that was a mess up on their part, I believe, to have that match happen so fast. But there was a part in the promo where Sami Zayn talked about how he did it because he doesn't want he's sick of the Judgment Day and they have all the titles, so he didn't want them to they have all the titles but one. And so I don't know if Sami Zayn forgot, or I don't know if Gunther is in the Judgment Day. I have no idea, but no, the Judgment Day don't have all the titles but one. So I did think that was a really stupid mess. I thought it was a pretty huge mess up. I don't know, to be like, I only did it because I don't want them to have all the titles. Like, that's why you don't know. Well, for one, Gunther has a title, and he's probably the biggest champion on Monday Night Raw. But nonetheless, neither here nor there. But I did like the opening. I like having Sami come out. I like. It's like a kind of like a gripe I have with AEW, where once again, if you have Adam Pearce, why are we having wrestlers decide who gets to have matches? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't just get to decide. Once again, they should say Adam Pearce gets to decide, or I'll talk to Adam Pearce about it if you want to go tonight. Let's go tonight. I'll ask Adam Pearce. Then later on, a thing pops up and it says Adam Pearce has approved this match, like something like that. But just the fact that it's like, I want to wrestle you. You deserve it just because you stole a briefcase. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. War Games. Here's the thing with War Games, right? It ended hot. I like it. The only way I approve of this War Game is for 3 ways. Ready? Number 1, Judgment Day wins. You cannot have Judgment Day lose War Games. It makes zero freaking sense. And you can have anybody but Cody get pinned. It's only 1 pin to win this match. You can have Jay take the pin. He takes them all the time. You can have Sami take a pin. He takes L's like it's going out of style. You can have Seth and Cody stay clean. They can whatever and have them take a pin. Okay. Secondly, the only way is if Damian Priest cashes in afterwards and wins the heavyweight championship. So they put a beat down, they pin, they win, and then they all start beating up because Cody's out or something, or they tie him up or whatever, and then they beat and pin Seth. 3, if this is the freaking end of these guys wrestling on my flipping screen, if all 3 of those things happen, I'm good with this. If none of those things happen or only one, I'm not liking this match. Like, this needs to end. Yeah. Needs to end. I'm sick of these guys wrestling each other. Now, War Games, I know it's only 2 weeks away, but that's still another whole week. Or is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
3, I think. The 25th. So 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah.
Or 2. Well, yeah, technically. So, but still, we still have 2 more weeks of them wrestling on Monday Night Raw until we get there. It's just been, this is like the never-ending story. It's like just nonstop. Yeah. I can't do it anymore. So as those 3 things happen, I'm for it. So
yeah,
and that includes Damian Priest cashing in. Make this a moment.
I'm right there with you, and I think that would be special to, in the match he decides to cash in after Seth Rollins. I mean, it would be fantastic to have him cash in. That's what makes me think Judgment Day is going to lose, because they're going to lose, and then after the match they snap and they take out everybody, and that's when Damian Priest cashes in. So it ends with a a sour note ends into a positive note. But either way, I want this has to be the end of it. We have to have a fresh start on Monday Night Raw after this. Begin the road to WrestleMania.
We need the real serious season premiere. All right, let's get into the other thing. Zoey Stark, she won a battle royale and becomes the #1 contender. Battle royals always suck, so it is what it is. They're never that. They're not the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble always feels more special because it's the freaking Royal Rumble. You're waiting for surprises. Battle royals are usually just, once again, spots and timing and waiting and blah blah blah. But thing I liked about it was what was up with Nikki Cross? And they just threw her out. I don't know what we're doing with her. But anyway, Nia Jax didn't win. Ding, ding, ding. #1, that was good. Let's save that for later. #2, the right person won, Zoey Stark, a fresh new opponent. They had a great promo afterwards about how she's going to beat her. And Rhea Ripley brought up the fact that I just beat you and 4 other girls all at the same time. Why can't I just beat you? Here's my thing, though. This is what I want. I want at their match. Is it going to be at Survivor Series, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
It's at War Games, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want Zoey Stark to be getting the upper hand, only to have Trish Stratus return and cost her the match, which Rhea Ripley then wins. That's what I want. If that happens, I'll be super happy with this because that'll build Zoey into a star that she could have beat Rhea, but she had to have her returning archenemy come back. That starts another rivalry with Trish and Zoey. So to continue that story more than how it ended, I'd be all for that. But if not, I'm still up for new people, and I'm glad that they finally are having Rhea Ripley freaking wrestle people. So
the only thing I didn't like about this was they did this whole video package and vignette for Natalya. Like this whole thing, like going like probably an hour and a half before the match even started, where they were like, she's the most all-time wins in WWE. She's a world record holder. And they were like touting her. They were interviewing her, and they were basically touting her to be like this next up and coming thing. And then she's in the Battle Royal and gets eliminated and doesn't even win the thing. I mean, was
she in the top 4?
I think she may have been. She might. Okay. So there's something there, but maybe the last 5. I don't know. But it was she was in there for a while, but she didn't win. And I was just like, why did you do that whole thing just for her not to win? Like, that made no sense. But the right person won. I'm happy for Zoey, and I like your idea of having Trish Stratus come back. I think that'll add to another women's title, or not a women's title feud, but a secondary women's feud while the 3 other belts are being defended on the road to WrestleMania. So sign me up for that.
And by the way, why is Natalya a Guinness World Record holder for all WWE? The WWE things are in Guinness World Records? I never knew that. She's like, all her world records aren't like she's over here like eating a ton of hot dogs or like putting the most paper clips together. That's what I thought the Guinness World Record is.
That's what I thought.
Like, she's like the woman who's wrestled the most in a match or won the most. Like, I'm like, then don't all these girls have Guinness World Record books? Like,
like Becky Lynch being the first woman to win the main event of WrestleMania.
Stratus, or China, or say, like, wouldn't they all have, like, Beth Phoenix? Wouldn't they all have kind of? I'm confused, but I thought she was doing other things. But then they showed all her records; they're just WWE related. I don't understand. I was very confused if this is real or not.
But they touted her up to be like I was thinking, okay, she's probably going to win this Battle Royal tonight, and we're going to get
why not, right? Yeah,
Natty versus Rhea again, and this time it won't be a squash match. Like, but then she doesn't even win the battle. I was just like, okay, that was a pointless segment and a pointless vignette.
I agree. I agree. All right, last point.
And we didn't talk about this with War Games, but The Miz is full on babyface now, and he did a segment at War Games with some guy. I don't even know who the heck it was. He was on Miz TV, and then Grayson Waller and Austin Theory came out and interrupted. And
you mean at Crown Jewel?
Yeah, Crown Jewel. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy was that he brought out.
He was some famous actor in Saudi Arabia, I think.
I guess
the funniest or the comedian. Yeah.
But either way, he's that was their way of showing us now, because then they had the Miz take out Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Like, that's their way of showing us that the Miz is a full on babyface now. And he is he's embracing he's going away from the dark side and stepping over to the light side. And on Monday Night Raw, that continued. He was in the Fatal 4-Way match. It was the Miz versus Ricochet versus Ivar versus Big Bronson Reed. And mean, the Miz shows out. The Miz can go,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes, he can.
This match was meh. It was okay, but the Miz is the ending was a little questionable too, because Ricochet, rumor has it, is he's now in the concussion protocol with WWE, and that he got his bell rung earlier in the match, and he didn't know what end was up apparently, and he wasn't supposed to kick out of that match, of that move from Ivar, and that it was going to set up to a rematch of Miz versus Ivar next week on Raw to set up who fights Gunther for the IC title. But because Ricochet kicked out at the same time that the Miz was pinning Big Bronson Reed, the Miz is the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. And I'm on board with this. I think the Miz versus Gunther it's the perfect opponent, perfect next opponent for Gunther. I don't think the Miz is going to win, but I think it's the perfect next opponent for Gunther. You have the Miz touting all of his talk about being the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, bringing that belt back to relevance when he held it, fighting tooth and nail to get on screen when he was the IC champion. Everybody remembers the talking smack thing with Daniel Bryan, where he was just getting in his face. He was the IC champion at that time. And now you have Gunther, who is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. So I think this is going to be a money match, and I can't wait to see it. And I'm all in so far on the Miz's turn to the light side.
Yeah, I like it too. I enjoy it a lot. Supposedly, rumor has it's going to be a three-way. It was supposed to be a three-way, and that supposedly they haven't announced the match yet on purpose, because they're going to have Ivar and him wrestle, and Ivar will beat him to get in, which will really hurt Miz's momentum if he took an L. Yeah. So hopefully they don't do that. Also, rumor has it that Kaiser's the one who's going to dethrone Gunther eventually, which is, I mean, I guess could be good. I don't know if he's ready yet, but we'll see. But yeah, I like it. I'm all for the Miz is an A+ wrestler, A+ on the mic, first ballot Hall of Famer. The dude deserves his kudos. He needs another run at the world title, but I'll take a Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship run, or at least a challenge with him. So Gunther can't wrestle outside of America, which I think is weird, because is he American? I don't.
It's something to do with
he can't wrestle outside of America.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he was a citizen.
He has a visa.
He's not good of an actor.
And it's something to do with his visa, sponsorship, green card. I don't know what it is, but he's not from America. I think he's from.
But I was gonna say, because he was in NXT UK, he wasn't in like. But here's the thing too, right? Is that he obviously can't wrestle on PLEs either, because he never defends it. So hopefully he gets a PLE match and wrestles at Survivor Series against the Miz or whoever it's gonna be. So he deserves.
I don't want it to be a three-way. I think it should just be the Miz versus Gunther. I think the promos between them were fine. Gunther or adding Ivar into that, it was just like he can I don't know, like a Viking talking and doing a promo battle or contracts. Like, I don't know, just I want to see. It should be the Miz versus Gunther at Survivor Series 1-on-1. Add Ivar later. Maybe make it a match on Raw, but not at Survivor Series.
Well, they're trying to do Ivar like, Aussie Open Kyle dude over at AEW, where they're trying to like, oh, your partner's injured, so let's make you a star. But Ivar ain't it. I'm sorry. I mean, he
has good matches. he needs a gimmick.
He
change.
does.
I'm not a fan of his gimmick.
And he let him and Homegirl look stupid. But anyway, Raw was good. I thought this was the show of the week, especially over NXT, which I still enjoyed, but it wasn't Monday Night Raw. So let's go into some NXT. And I want to talk about someone that didn't really have much going on, but he was flipping everywhere. And that is Baron Corbin. And he appeared all over this card to talk crap to everybody, to put in his input. And not only did he just dismantle the former champ, or the current champ, he also went after a former champ in Wes Lee, where he mocked him and called him out and said, you're about to wrestle someone you can't even beat in Dirty Dom, and you think you deserve this and that. I'm loving what they're doing with Baron Corbin. I want him to win a title. I don't think he's going to, so they're not going to give him the Mandy Rose treatment or Dolph Ziggler treatment, but he is getting reinvented, reignited, rejuvenated in NXT, and that's all that matters, because now he feels like a threat again. Hopefully they continue this, belt or not, and have him take that momentum back to Raw and SmackDown, and then he can finally get the respect he deserves and win a World Heavyweight Championship over there sometime in the next couple of years. Still the last man to pin Roman, so
besides Jey Uso
in a solo match.
Yeah, apology.
Right. Yeah. But Baron Corbin, I still love it. I'm killing it. I like his cockiness. So
Yeah, I like what they're doing with him. I wish it would translate to more victories for him and more title opportunities. And yeah, like he's going after Dragunov now. He's going after Wes Lee. Yeah, curious to see what happens there. So should be an interesting time for one Baron Corbin, and maybe it leads to him eventually going back to the main roster too, with some
I think
with
it
some
has to
fresh momentum coming his way. And then for me, I want to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They had their moment in the ring together. They had their segment where it looked like we were finally going to get an answer as to who attacked Trick Williams. Carmelo Hayes was adamant that he did not do it. He had nothing to do with it. Trick Williams came out and cut a promo at the end of the show saying that, when I came to, you weren't there, but but we saw the segment that he wasn't knocked out. He was just like, he was just kind of like oohing and awing backstage. And then they put him in the ambulance and they drove away. But then like this whole thing was fine. And Trick Williams even asked, did you attack me? Was it you? And then out came Lexus King with his...
Right when he was going to answer, he said, well, the truth is, and then,
And then out came Lexus King, which... Why did we do this? I understand, like, if they're trying to swerve us into thinking that maybe Lexus King did it to make a name for himself in the NXT roster and that he's not here to mess around, or that it's some other newcomer in NXT that's trying to make a name for himself. But in the event that it's not, this whole thing was a waste of time. And I think we all know that it's not. It wasn't Lexus King that did it. It's either Trick Williams didn't get attacked at all and he set up Carmelo Hayes to take the blame, or Carmelo Hayes did it and he's turning heel and we're going to get Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams. So I don't understand why they added Lexus King into this. He brought nothing to the segment. He was fumbling on the microphone. He didn't.
Bad.
Yeah, he didn't seem comfortable out there. I still don't really like the way that he looks, his beard and his hair and all of it. I don't know what they're doing with him, but this was not the right time to introduce him into this hot angle that you have. To me, this may have hurt the angle significantly. Like I don't care anymore about who attacked Trick Williams because of Lexus King. So they'll get me tied back into it hopefully next week when we get some freaking answers. But right now, like this killed it for me. I did not like it.
Well, yeah, and then the last time I saw him on screen, he was like a womanizer. I don't know. He was getting interviewed, and he was like sexually harassing her, and then she kind of like walked away, and he's like, "See you later, I guess." That was him, right? Yeah, he was sitting in like his crown or his throne, and then now he's coming out and he's flipping like that was bad. And not only was it so bad that Trick Williams kept saying the same thing, he just kept saying like, "Get out my ring" or whatever he was saying. He just kept like
grown up talk. Grown up
talk. It's all just stupid. And then he hits Carmelo Hayes, and then Carmelo Hayes is like so sad, like it wasn't him who beat him up, and then they like hug for about
they shake hands and they hug. Yeah,
they hug so long that he needed to have a cigarette afterwards. Like this was like a long hug, and Carmelo's face, all of it was a miss. It literally, I was so excited about this, and it took me the F out. Was it King's fault? I don't know, but maybe Brian Pillman Jr. ain't it. He wasn't being utilized in AEW. WWE's trying, and it's just, dude, that promo was trash. Yeah. Once again, like I said, to make him like a cocky, he should have just been his dad. His dad had such an easy kid. His dad wasn't the best in the ring, wasn't the best on the mic, but he knew what he was doing, and he had that like crazy, insane character. It just worked. It worked, and he was able, all his flaws were erased, and he was able to be that person. That's what they should have done with him. This is not it, and you can't really start over, so I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what we're doing, but I agree with you. It was a hot miss for sure.
Yeah. It was not a good night for Carmelo, for Trick, or even Lexus King. So not a good way to end the show for sure.
No, I think it looked better on paper. I wonder what happened after that. But anyway, all right. With that said, that was the week of WWE. It was a good week. Tomorrow we'll talk about the week of AEW. But before then, which is also a decent week, but before then, we're going to get into our segment. And it's a segment that we like to call...
That's cool. That's not cool. Those are...
Yes, sir.
We're going to give each other some scenarios, some things that maybe will happen in the world of wrestling, WWE related. And we both respond whether we like it, that's cool, or if we don't like it, that's not cool. Easy enough.
That's not cool. Yeah, and the man who helped us get this gimmick is back. So
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
kind of. I haven't seen him since. Him and Kevin Owens. What happened to Kevin Owens, by the way? Where the heck did Kevin Owens go? He did like a double punch, and he wasn't on Raw this week. What happened to him?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what happened to him. Anyway, yeah.
Fizzling out.
Yeah. But anyway, all right, let's get into it. Are you ready? Cool or not cool? As always, the handsomer man gets to go first. Shooting Star Press. What you got? We haven't looked these over. Two each. What you got?
All right. Cool or not cool?
Mhm.
Damian Priest cashing in on the new undisputed champion, Cody Rhodes, after Cody Rhodes beats Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40.
Oh, man. I'm going to totally say that's cool.
That's cool.
For sure. I wanted this to happen last year with Austin Theory and Cody
Yeah.
at WrestleMania. So I'll take Damian Priest. I mean, Damian Priest needs a moment. He needs to be that guy. I'm sick of people crapping on him for winning it, saying he doesn't deserve it. He's not that dude. Priest is that dude. That would be awesome. And then we can have Cody continue his story because he didn't finish it. So now he can continue trying to finish it.
The only downside to this is it would be 6 more weeks of winter, like Groundhog Day, but it would be more Judgment Day versus Cody Rhodes beef. But this time there would be some it'd be a legit reason for Cody Rhodes to want to come after Damian in the Judgment Day for cashing in and ruining his moment and killing his story. So I'm all for it. Bring it on.
I agree. All right. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I got so many of them. Let's see. All right, I'll start with this one. That's cool or that's not cool? Are we going to have, what if we have a second War Games match from the SmackDown brand? A second War Games match.
That's not cool.
Oh, you only want one. All right, so no one from SmackDown.
I know it's called Survivor Series War Games, and they were probably going to get one, but who's it going to be? Who is it? Is it going to be like who's beefing on SmackDown? I mean, other than the Bloodline, is it going to be John Cena, LA Knight, whoever else is feuding with the Bloodline, and then you have
it could be the women.
Yeah.
Damage Control and
yeah, but Damage Control. Kairi Sane is coming in to take Io Sky away,
so she'll be the fourth. Yeah.
Against Bianca, Charlotte.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't. I think they should have a standard elimination match, a standard Survivor Series elimination match. I don't want to see. Too much of something to me is not a good thing. So when you have like two elimination chambers, to me, it's pushing it. Elimination chamber, 2 Hell in a Cell matches at a pay-per-view is pushing it. Like when you have 2 of something, sometimes it's a little too much. And I think having one big match and building up to it with the War Games, I think it's good. And then let everything else kind of be other matches. Plus, they're hard to watch, they're hard to navigate, hard to see with the cage. So, yeah, let's make it one match of War Games and then an elimination match of some sort.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I just think with the brand split and 2 different
general
managers now, how is that guy going to be like, okay, you guys took the War Games from us, so we'll just
Yeah,
so we'll see.
And I'm really surprised they're not doing SmackDown versus Raw because we had Adam Pearce say, "Let the games begin" a few weeks ago on and then they never really followed up on that. So maybe that's what we'll get: SmackDown versus Raw Women War Games. I don't know.
Yeah, something. We'll know. All right, what's your second? Give it to me.
Okay, this one: the Creeds should beat the Judgment Day at the Royal Rumble for the undisputed Tag Team Championships. Cool or not cool?
That's January. We're in November. Gives a couple months.
It's the next big pay-per-view after Survivor Series.
Who else would win it? Kids, I'll say that's cool. That's cool. I like it. And I feel like the Judgment Day with Damian and Finn aren't really a true tag team, although I like them as a tag team. And if we're really going to get this tag team division on point again, cooking on all cylinders, let's have a real tag team habit. Why not the Creeds? Why not? Let's do it. Other than maybe DIY, but let's do it. Why not? I think that's cool.
Yeah, the way they're being booked right now, I think they have to do something. And I think come in, make a statement, beat the Judgment Day.
Yes, sir. So. All right. We didn't even talk about a 5th man being added into the War Game teams, but here's something I want to throw at you. There's so many rumors of returnings at the War Games. So cool or not cool, Randy Orton returning at Survivor Series and not CM Punk.
And is he the fifth man in the War Games match, or is he just returning?
He's either a surprise entry or he returns afterwards at the end. Yeah, either way. But him, not Punk at all. Only one. And it's Randy.
I would rather see that. That's cool. I want Randy Orton to come back. I don't want there to be a fifth man I don't want him to be randomly inserted into the War Games match. He doesn't have a beat for the Judgment Day. I think it would make more sense for like a Drew McIntyre to be added, but then you got to add somebody on the Judgment Day side. Maybe you do Drew McIntyre for that, and then LA Knight for I don't know the other team.
If
but
Drew,
but not so much. Maybe you could add Ray. I don't know, but Randy Orton doesn't have a place in that. So I want to see him come back, and I want to see him be the big return over CM Punk at Survivor Series. I just don't want to see him come back in the War Games match. I think he comes back afterwards and takes out Seth Rollins with an RKO, or he comes out and he cleans house and he's the ass kicking machine that we all know and love. Something, but not in the War Games match.
Yeah. Well, the one thing he can't do is turn on Riddle. So
here's
my thing. If Drew McIntyre isn't inserted on the opposite side of Judgment Day's winning. He's going to turn. So if he's in that fifth member of the War Games, he's turning. But I think the only way you can have CM Punk not returning at Survivor Series and have anybody return and not get booed out of the building is Randy Orton. So, and I'd much rather see Randy. I miss Randy, and I don't really care if Punk comes back or not. So,
Randy. I want to see Randy come back. I want to see him have one last run with a belt, and I think him versus Seth going into WrestleMania. Bring it on, man. I'd take that in a heartbeat.
Me too. I'm all for it. All right. And then that was both, right? We're good?
Yeah, we did too.
We should too. Right on. All right. That's it for WWE Week. Tomorrow we will be back. Same bat time, same bat channel with our AEW. As always, thank you for constantly tuning in, getting us over 500. Now we're on our goal to 1,000. Keep checking us out on everything. Tell your parents, tell your friends. Tell people we drink Prime. So tell all your Logan Paul-nesses out there. We talk about them. We love them. As always, I'm the dude of Russell Talk, Mr. MWO. And with me is
Mr. Shooting Star Press. For now, we're going to be doing an overhaul here shortly, but it's all good stuff. We are on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes on TikTok. So go follow us. We put exclusive content on there. We've been putting snippets of some of our segments on there recently. Getting a lot of traction. We're over 100 followers now, which doesn't sound like a lot, but from where we started to where we are, I think it's a huge accomplishment. And keep following us on YouTube and keep subscribing. Go get us on Spotify and Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts, because we're growing and we want to blow up. So we want to take this thing to new heights.
Yes, sir. And whenever you grow, you blow. So, all right.
There you go.
With that, 2 Dudes will back.
Let's
We're out.
To the pod every Wednesday. Back to represent. 2 Dudes with Attitudes. Yeah, here comes the main event.